You know,
Yeah, so I got, I brought those things from ABG, like,
that's peace. That's
the
peace.
flag with the alphabets. Over there, you got pictures of the Arkham and the Garsha. And
Mm.
then those pictures over there, that's, Pedro Biso Campo. I don't know if you ever heard about him.
Nah,
He
never.
was like a black Malcolm X. He was just like teaching, what I'm saying? He was just like trying to liberate Puerto Rico from
Like a Puerto Rican Malcolm X, you
like
mean?
a Puerto Rican Malcolm X. Yeah, he wanted Puerto Rico to be free from the United States because he seen the
Mm.
abuse that the government was using. So he was the one that caused all of the cane worker fields to strike.
Mm-mm.
So when he did that, they knew that he had power and they locked him up. You know what I'm saying? And his group was like really like throwing down the government when they went down to the capital of the United States, him and his group, and there was this lady named Lolita Nebron, and she bust a shot right there
Mm.
in front of the Capitol because they wanted, for Puerto Rico to be independent. So that's what he was fighting for. So they wound up killing him in the penitentiary system, electrifying him.
Oh wow, they executed him.
They executed him, in his cell
Mm.
by radiation, by way of radiation. So, after a few years where they felt that he wasn't no longer a threat, like, like Al Capone in the 30s, that they figured he wasn't no threat no more because he caught syphilis
Mm.
and he was shocked like that with electricity, with radiation. They released him. And in 75, he died. He went back to the essence.
He died in 1975.
Yeah, a few years after he was released from the jail.
Mm. What's his
You,
name?
Pedro Biso Campos.
There you go, Peter Campos. Okay, okay. So you just born in this science. To me, I'm not familiar with that history. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And just like the man Arturo Schomburg.
Yeah, I know about Schomburg. You got the
Well,
Schomburg Library right there
yeah,
on
right.
Knowledge Understanding Power.
So the I like to speak about him, right? Because um he was Puerto Rican and German. So what happened was that when he was in school, as far as what I read, that he asked the teacher, yo, you know what I'm saying? There's history on white, there's history on Indians, uh, what about black people? So the teacher told him black people didn't have no history. So he couldn't bear with that thought that, what I'm saying? He knew that that was a lie. So he just went all over and started researching,
And
and he
collecting artifacts and all that.
yeah, started collecting all books and all the knowledge that he could get his hands on. And then he had so many books that was the way that he built that library, that Schomburg
Library.
Library, because he said, nah, that's impossible for us not to have a history. You know what I'm saying? When he found out that we was the ones that created everything, you know what I'm saying? It's a shock. I got a book like that I brought from the parliament, from a law of mathematics, that it says black people invented everything.
Mm.
You know, I haven't read it yet, but I've been reading different books. I got a little library here. You know what I'm saying? Where I go, after studying 120, actual facts and things in 120, I read. And when I don't understand some words, I just pull my phone out with the Google. It's much easier like when you used to study from before that used to have to be with a dictionary and look the word up. Now the Google would make it much easier. You just say the word or you just spell it out and it give you the meaning to it and everything. So it's much better like that,
It's much easier, but
Right.
I think that a lot of people don't appreciate it, especially like the youth. You know what I'm saying? They have all this power and information within their hands,
Right.
and they don't really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So they wind up just playing like games on the phones and not even acknowledging you got. See, in my day, they show my age, right? Like I had to travel to go to the libraries. Talk about like the Schomburg Library, or I had to travel to the libraries. You know what I'm saying? Like and get the information and go through actual books and shelves and pages and pages and pages of information.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Whereas now, I don't have to do all that. I don't have to go to the library. You know what I mean? It would be because you can't find everything online, but it's you know it's good to have that, you know, that reference. But like I said, with me back in the days, I had to travel. But nowadays, kids they just type it in, and all that information comes up. But it's crazy that they don't appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
If Mega did this.